Good evening and welcome. I'd like to call to order the Old Bridge Township March 11th, 2019 meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Please remain standing for a moment of silence and for our prayer. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As customary in this chamber, we stand for a moment of silence to remember those who are protecting our freedoms, both here and abroad, for our first responders, and for those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. A moment of silence, please. Our prayer, Mr. Pasquiti.
O Lord, bless thy servants in the ministry of public affairs who serve thee in this chamber. Give them quiet minds and hearts that they may hear thy voice. Help them to know when to speak, when to be silent. Give them strength to oppose the wrong and uphold the right, and grant that they have a good conscience and soul at peace with thee and with one another. Amen.
Amen. Please be seated.
This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice has been given to the newspaper, and notice of the meeting has been posted in public places. Next open public meeting of the council will be held on Monday, March 25th, 2019, at 7:30 p.m. Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Here.
Dr. Greenberg? Here. Mr. Merwin? Mr. Murphy? Mr. Pasquiti?
Here.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Here.
Mrs. Walker?
Here.
President Sohar?
Here.
Seven present.
Okay, good evening, everyone. First, we will have presentations. Old Bridge Township's 150th anniversary. Good evening, everyone.
How's everyone doing tonight?
Good.
Myself and Anna are here to talk about our Celebrate Old Bridge, our 150th anniversary. I'll give you guys a quick introduction for those who don't know. My name is Matt Mercurio. I'm the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Social Services. And with me this evening is Anna Feltz, who's the manager of our Silver Lining Center. And just to stick with the Old Bridge flair, Anna and I are both Old Bridge High School graduates, class of 2000 and class of 2001. What you'll see up here is a quick slide. This is courtesy of the Madison Old Bridge Township Historical Society and the Thomas Warren Museum and Library. We are working very closely with them on the 150th celebration. These facts are going to be provided to us every couple weeks, and they will be going on the township website and as well as our Facebook page. That Madison Township was the future of Old Bridge Township was established on March 2nd, 1869, when it broke away from the township of South Amboy. The township was named in honor of President James Madison, a friend to small farmers and who visited the area regularly while trying to date Philip Furneaux's sister Mary at the Furneaux homestead, Mount Pleasant Hall, which was located in our neighboring town of Matawan Township, Aberdeen. A brief history. 2019, as you know, marks the 150th anniversary of Madison Township, Old Bridge Township. The area that is now known as Old Bridge Township broke away from South Amboy Township and was incorporated as Madison Township on March 2nd, 1869. Fun fact, the first council meeting was held on March 12th, 1869, which will be 150 years tomorrow. Madison Township was renamed Old Bridge Township in 1975 to avoid confusion with the borough of Madison in Morris County. The 150th anniversary committee is comprised of township employees, council members, and the Madison Township, Old Bridge Township Historical Society. Celebrate Old Bridge is the theme that will be carried through the year-long celebration. Residents are encouraged to participate in our town-sponsored events and community events that will celebrate Old Bridge. We have a dedicated web page on our website, www.oldbridge.com/OB150. That will be where everybody can go, from people who live in Old Bridge, people who used to live in Old Bridge, as well as our businesses. We will be updating that website with any information that we have, so that will be our central location for all things 150th anniversary. We are happy to say that our first event for the 150th celebration will be the inaugural Health and Wellness 5K on March the 30th. Right now, we have close to 400 people already signed up for this event. The second, which will be 2 weeks after that, is the Shop, Dine, Buy Local. That is by the Mayor's Office of Economic Development, and that will be the entire week of April 13th through the 20th. Businesses will have special discounts, raffles, and giveaways at the week-long event. And like everything for the 150th anniversary, we encourage everybody to celebrate Old Bridge by supporting local businesses. There are many, many more events to come. As you can see by our slate here, we'll have our Parks and Recreation Spring Fling May the 4th at Gike Park. We'll have dancing in the park for specifically celebrating the arts on May the 19th. Our annual Memorial Day Parade on May 27th that the Historical Society has been working very hard on putting together a 150th anniversary float, and that is always down in Lawrence Harbor Beachfront. Our annual Business Expo, which kicked off last year, which was hugely successful, will this year again be on June 26th. And the end of that week, Friday, when all the kids are out of school, we're going to do our annual Family Park Party. Last year we did it at Menino Park. This year we will be doing it at Gike Park. Our summer concert series this year. All this information with all supporting information can be found at the website. The entire concert series this summer will be held at Gike Park. We will be doing a Thomas Warren Museum lecture series broken down into 3 parts. The first will be up until 1869, pre-Madison Township history. The second lecture series will cover 1869 to 1975, which will give the Madison Township history. And the last one will be 1975 until present, and that will be the Old Bridge Township history. Saltwater Day will be August 10th down at Lawrence Harbor Beachfront, and Old Bridge Day will be here in the Municipal Complex on September the 21st.
Thank you, Matt. Next, I'll be talking a little bit about the marketing and how we are marketing hashtag OB150. That's going to be the hashtag we'll be using on social media throughout a lot of our marketing materials to get awareness and to celebrate Old Bridge this year. In the coming weeks, you're going to start seeing street banners, pole banners, and other signs that will be installed throughout town. As you may have seen today coming into the meeting, we started putting our pole banners in the courtyard. I think they came out pretty nice. You'll have to check them out during the day when it's more late outside, but they came out pretty nice, I think. The picture on the right, though, is the picture of the light pole banner that we're going to be displaying throughout town to bring the whole town together and to remind people to celebrate Old Bridge. Banners like the one shown below are also going to be used. The smaller banner, which is actually hanging on the wall back here, is our Celebrate Old Bridge 150th anniversary. That also has information about our website. Those banners are going to be put throughout various parts of town. We are going to be reaching out to the schools, fire companies, and other entities in town to encourage them to help us celebrate Old Bridge and hopefully display these banners in their different areas. The banner underneath that says Celebrate Old Bridge, that also is a 3-foot by 30-foot banner that are going to be our street banners. And our goal is to have one down in Lawrence Harbor area, one in the center of town over here, and down in South Old Bridge, trying to bring the whole town together. As you could see, our logo, I did not really get a chance to talk about our logo, but our logo includes our current township logo, as well as the years, 1869 to 2019, Madison Township, Old Bridge Township, to show the transition between the two names. And we incorporate the logo in all of our marketing materials. Another hashtag that you'll probably, hopefully will be seeing a lot of is our hashtag OBProud. We're going to be encouraging all of our residents to show their Obridge pride by picking up these bumper stickers that you see on the screen at one of our various events. This is truly a township event. We want to bring the whole town together, whether it's residents, businesses, township employees. We want to celebrate Old Bridge, and we want people to show they're proud of living in Old Bridge. And these bumper stickers, we hope our residents will like and put on their cars. So those are two samples of the bumper stickers that we've created. The next thing that we're looking to do is to incorporate our businesses. Our businesses are very big in town. We're having a big event in April to celebrate our businesses and to encourage our residents to shop, buy, and dine in Old Bridge. So we want to encourage our businesses to be part of the celebration. We're going to be have an interest form for them on our website where they can submit this form and let us know that they're interested in participating and being part of our celebration. When they do so, they're going to be receiving a Celebrate Old Bridge pack, I like to call it, that will include a window decal that you could see right above the writing there, the little square. It's going to also include a poster that you will see on the left-hand side that will be advertising all of our upcoming events, so they can put that in their windows. We'll also be giving them flyers that they could give out and other various items to show their support and to help us celebrate Old Bridge throughout the whole year. This is definitely a township-wide event, and we hope to be incorporating everybody into the celebration. Our committee has been hard at work in doing all these things. We couldn't do it without our members at the Thomas Warren Museum, without the help of our council members, without the help of our mayor and business administrator as well, and obviously without the help of Matt, the Parks and Recreation Department, Casey Lenning, and the Department of Public Works, who's been great and helped me hang my banners today. And that's really going to be our goal to celebrate Old Bridge this year. So for more information, you are, again, welcome to visit our oldbridge.com/OB150. You'll be seeing that website a lot. It's constantly going to be updated with events, how to participate in these events, how to attend these events. It's going to have a lot of information, like I said, on there coming up for businesses and how they can join in the celebration. We also encourage you to learn more about the history of Madison Township and Old Bridge Township by visiting the Thomas Warren Museum. The museum is open Monday through Friday by appointment, or it is also open Saturdays and Sundays to the public from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. They do accept group and private tours. I was a history major in college, and I've gone there 2 times already, and I still learn more, and I find it fascinating. So I really encourage everybody to go learn more about Old Bridge and what makes this place great. Thank you.
Council President, if I may, I want to thank, on behalf of the administration, we want to thank Anna. As always, she does a wonderful job in marketing particularly, and also Matt for quickly putting this entire committee together, and you see the result as a great result. I also want to encourage all the council members, all our employees are doing it. It's part of our email. The logo is, we can provide you if you haven't received it, but we incorporate the logo in every one of our communication, and I would hope the council member do the same. So, thank you.
Any questions from the council? Mr. Murphy?
Yeah, excuse me, I'm sorry for coming late. I'm really proud that you guys are doing this. This is a very big thing going on in Old Bridge. I was a senior in a freshman in high school, I guess during what would have been the 100th. I don't think they had a celebration then, probably because they didn't realize when Old Bridge started. I think he just came up with that recently. But I think this is a big thing, and as a councilman, I'd like to be a part of it and be able to recommend some things, and that's all I have to say. And great job with the whole way you're doing it now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else on my left? Mr. Cahill.
I just want to congratulate you guys. I mean, it looks like a Park Avenue marketing scheme. I'll be honest with you. It's terrific. The logo and the banners, and it's really terrific. So thank you for doing that. I can see the pride, the way you described it. So it's going to be great, full, year-long celebration, and the town deserves it. It's a great town, right? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on my left? On my right? Mrs. Walker?
I just want to mention, we're also involving the schools in this too. We're trying to get the kids involved and the parents, so that's one of our goals.
Anyone else on my right? Dr. Greenberg?
I've said it at all of the initial meeting. I am just so impressed with your positive attitude and your enthusiasm and the ideas that you've had and how you're bringing this together so effectively and efficiently. And I think as it rolls out, the whole town will be very excited to participate, and there's something throughout the whole year. So I really think we have a lot to be proud of in this town, and this is going to highlight it. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Okay. I will close the comments by also saying thank you for all the hard work. Again, OBProud. I couldn't be prouder as well. I think this is just a wonderful thing that you guys have put together, well thought out, and I think that the entire town benefits from it. Everyone. There's not a person that you can't touch with this. So thank you so much for everything. It's so appreciated. Mayor, anything?
I think everything's been said. I'd like the council to participate. You know, a lot of times we say sit back and enjoy, and I think in this case we say step forward, step out, and enjoy even more. So I really am looking forward to this year, very excited. And so far the interest just in the 5K run has been overwhelming. This is twice as many people as we expected to sign up for the first 5K run here in Old Bridge. So very exciting.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you so
Council.
much.
Appreciate your time.
Such a great job. Thank you all. Okay. All right. Next will be proclamation certificates. Proclamation American Red Cross Month, March 2019. Mayor Henry.
Thank you, Council. Good evening, everyone. I have another organization here that's been around for 137 years. So, more than 137 years ago, the American Red Cross was established as a humanitarian organization guided by 7 fundamental principles, including humanity, impartiality, independence, to provide services to those in need, regardless of race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, or citizenship status. Today, the American Red Cross is one of the largest humanitarian organizations in the world and delivers its mission every day to prevent and alleviate human suffering in the face of emergencies. Every year, the American Red Cross responds to an average of more than 62,000 disasters across the country, from small home fires to devastating massive disasters. Last year's large crisis included mudslides in California, a volcano in Hawaii, wildfires in Colorado and California, destructive hurricanes in Florida and the Carolinas, and a devastating typhoon in the U.S. territories. Thousands of American Red Cross volunteers provided around-the-clock shelter for disaster victims and served millions of meals and distributed millions of relief items. In New Jersey, the Red Cross has a long history of helping our neighbors in need. The Red Cross New Jersey region assisted with 902 local disasters in the past year alone and helped save lives through our Home Fire campaign. Since the campaign launched in October 2014, the New Jersey region has worked with community partners to install more than 31,761 smoke alarms. Meanwhile, in our area, the Red Cross handles an average of 5,100 emergency calls every year and collects an average of 95,000 units of blood from our generous blood donors. March is Red Cross Month, a special time to recognize and thank the Red Cross volunteers and donors who give of their time and resources to help members of the community. The Red Cross depends on these local heroes to deliver help and hope during a disaster. We applaud our heroes here in New Jersey who give of themselves to assist their neighbors when they need a helping hand. The American Red Cross shelters, feeds, and provides emotional support to victims of disasters, supplies about 40% of the nation's blood, teaches skills that save lives, provides international humanitarian aid, and supports military members and their families. We dedicate the month of March to all those who support the American Red Cross mission to prevent and alleviate human suffering in the face of emergencies. Our community depends on the American Red Cross. which relies on volunteers and the generosity of the public to perform its mission. Now therefore, I, Owen Henry, Mayor of the Township of Old Bridge, do hereby proclaim March 2019 as Red Cross Month, and I encourage all Americans to support this organization and its noble humanitarian mission. Thank you, everyone. Well, get up here now.
Hi, thank you so much.
Please,
Oh,
have a little bit more detail.
okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Heather Lockhart. I'm the representative for the Red Cross within Middlesex County as well as Mercer County. I'm the disaster program specialist. Much like Old Bridge, I am also celebrating an anniversary tomorrow. Tomorrow marks my 1 year with my title in the Red Cross. And during that time, I've actually, myself and Lolita Andrews here, she is one of our disaster action team supervisors. We've been able to provide aid to a number of residents in Old Bridge who have been affected by home fires, and we've also been able to install smoke alarms for residents who didn't have them or needed new ones. So it's my hope that in the coming year that we're able to further strengthen our relationship, help out even more residents when they need it, install more smoke alarms, and make Old Bridge safer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. It's very nice to meet you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, next is our bill listing. Mrs. Walker.
Accounts payable, March 11, 2019, $10,125,768.01.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
Okay, moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mr. Rizzoli.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
And Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Biscotti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Soha?
Yes.
8 yes.
Payroll, March 1st, 2019, $1,016,721.63.
Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mrs. Walker.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
And Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Biscotti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Soha?
Yes.
8 yes.
Payroll overtime, March 1st, 2019, $45,154.96.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
Moved it.
Moved by, I think it was Mr. Murphy?
Mr. Murphy, did you move
Mr.
it?
Murphy, okay, Mr. Murphy, and second by Dr. Greenberg. Can we have a breakout, Mr. Shaw?
Yes, Council President, thank you. As indicated by Councilwoman Walker, the total overtime for the period was $45,154.96. We had all the snow-related overtime in Public Works of $18,218.57, and Parks and Recreation, $5,235.19. For the Police Department, we had a total sworn police overtime was $14,428.24. There was no grant deductions. Deduction for ETO time, $4,229.64. Total overtime for the period was $10,198.60, representing 203 men and women hours. There was no injury on duty, there was no other special events.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shaw.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
And Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Biscotti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Soha?
Yes.
9 yes.
That concludes the bill list.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Walker. Oh, it's 8,
Oh, I'm sorry, that was 8 yes, not 9 yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Next is public hearing and ordinances for second reading. H1, Cheesequake Fire District Number 2 budget.
Council President, the fire district members are here.
Yes.
They should come forward and
Yes,
make
please.
their presentations
Yeah, I will.
and explanation of that budget.
All right, once they have a seat, I'll open it to the public. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Okay, first I would like to open it up to the public. Is there anyone in the public who would like to be heard on this item? Seeing no hands, I will close the public portion, and now we'll start with council. Is there anyone here from the council that has questions?
Council President, if I may suggest that the fire company can provide the explanation to the council first.
If you could all introduce yourselves for the record, please. And you're a commissioner? Yeah,
Yeah,
speak
you
into
have
the
to-
mic, okay?
Nicholas Juneau.
Joseph Dunn, Commission Treasurer. Oliver Walling, CPA, Accountant.
Scott Kennedy, President.
Jack Kokoschka, Commissioner.
Okay. Who would like to begin?
So we come before the council this evening. Our 2018 budget was lost at the election. 2019, apologies. 2019 budget failed in the recent election, so per DCA, we have to come forward to the council for their approval. So we have the copy of the budget. We brought Oliver, who prepared the budget, to answer any questions you may have.
Anyone with questions for them?
Okay. From last year to this year, could you tell us the difference in the budget?
The amount to be raised by taxation this year is $1,971,261. That is a increase of $106,000, $106,931 over 2018. The total budget, total expenses, total revenues decreased by $361,000, $361,097. The amount to be raised by taxation went from 15.9 cents per hundred to 16.8 cents per hundred. Now, even though the budget decreased by almost $400,000, upon my advice, we used less surplus to offset the amount to be raised by taxation. In 2018, we used $621,191 of accumulated surplus to offset the amount to be raised by taxation. The surplus was being diminished. I advised the board that they needed to stop using so much surplus. Eventually, it would catch up to them down the road. So we used $125,000 of surplus this year to offset the amount to be raised by, which was offset by amount to be raised by taxation. So expenses decreased $361,000, but we used less surplus to offset the taxes, which resulted in a 0.9 cent increase per hundred. Just background, in 2016, the amount to be raised, the tax rate was 15.4 cents. In 2017, it was 15.9 cents. In 2018, it was 15.9 cents. So upon my advice, and the board agreed that we would raise it by 0.9 cents.
Thank you for that explanation. Isn't it also true that the state mandates that you have to update your equipment? You may have equipment that's perfect, but the state still mandates that within a certain amount of time, you have to update that equipment, and that equipment has to be surrendered?
Yes, that's correct. And part of 2019 budget is actually a one upgrade. Believe it or not, we're upgrading a truck that's 30 years old. That's $175,000, and that's part of the budget. So, yes, Any other pumpers, which part of expenditures from last year was one new engine that was $570,000. And the year before, a tower ladder that had to be replaced was $1.2 million, and that's already been done, so. But that's what depleted our surplus.
And, you know, for those that don't understand, this is a volunteer fire company, correct?
It's actually a combination.
How many
This fire
paid?
district number 2, it's the only district in the township that has paid firefighters.
And how many are they?
Between regular firefighters and inspectors, we got 6 of them.
6.
Yeah, so
6.
part of the budget, it's also payroll and benefits that are under contract.
And that's quite a small amount for the job that you men do. To volunteer, to come out all hours of the night and respond to the amount of calls that you do in a year, that's pretty phenomenal. And I compliment for you, I'm grateful to you for your dedication and your commitment, and the whole town should be. And I understand that you're here, you know, for your budget, and it's unfortunate that it went down, because I think it went down because people don't understand. And they just see a budget, and they go, we're not for it. And they don't understand that everything that goes into it. I will be supporting this budget tonight, and I think it's a very well-balanced budget. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to, I was a fire commissioner about 6 years, so I know how tight the budget is over there. And we should be, like Dr. Greenberg said, very thankful for the volunteers we have and how much money this would cost the town if it was truly a paid department. And I think what you was referring to is the turnout gear, the 10-year lifespan on the turnout gear. It's very costly, because after 10 years, you know, you have to turn it over, even though it's still good. It's a lot, it's very costly, and I think for the job you guys do, you do an amazing job with the money. Unfortunately, I think what happened is this year, the absentee ballots, a lot of people didn't know what they were voting on, and that's why they voted the budget down. Unfortunately, I can't vote because my husband's a volunteer, so I have to abstain.
Is there anyone else? Mr., I see a wave. I think that's a wave. Mr. Pasquini?
I too want to thank you very much for your efforts keeping us safe. You mentioned that you had a decrease in revenues. What was the reason for that? Decrease in revenue?
The only revenue that was decreased was the fund balance utilized.
Oh, I see.
Okay, all the other income items experienced small increases.
Yeah. When you do your budget, what do you have, like a committee? Are you guys like on the committee to, like when the town does its budget, we have workshops, and then we go through the budget. What is your process?
I work with the in-house bookkeeper, and we work the details amount, and then we meet with commissioners and then iron out the final budget.
And who has input on potential savings for your budget?
The commissioners, obviously, and then it's discussed, there's a public hearing. There's actually 2 meetings on the budget, one in December and one in January. The January one being a public hearing before the adoption. Also, our budget has to be approved after the introduction meeting. So I guess you would say it's reviewed by DCA, the public, after the commissioners are finished with it.
And did you have much public input at that time?
Unfortunately, no.
I was just wondering why we're in this predicament. When you're figuring benefits, like health benefits, do you take into account that the town has like a large group, and if you rolled your guys into that group at some point, that you would get a better rate?
Yes, actually, if I'm not mistaken, our vision plan is still with the township, but we were able to find a, not going to say cheaper, but plan that actually costs us less than the town.
Okay, thank you very much.
So that was changed last year. We still participate with the vision program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Cahill?
Yeah, just a procedural question. Is there any rules around surplus? Because, in the state and the municipal government, we have rules around surplus. Are there any rules around that, about what you can and can't use? And
The
year-over-year?
DCA advises that we keep 25% of the amount to be raised by taxation as surplus, minimum surplus, because we don't get our check until April.
Right.
So we're running the budget from January to April when the township check comes to it has to be funded by the prior year cash.
Okay, great. When the budget went down and we got the package, I looked it over, and candidly, I have no idea why this budget went down. And I was kind of hoping that some people that maybe voted it down would show up and explain why, but there's nobody here. With that, I'd like to thank you gentlemen for keeping us safe, my part of town. Appreciate that. And I'll be supporting the budget. Thank you.
The possible answer is the new election laws as far as the absentee ballot. I am responsible for 26 fire districts. And normally it's unusual if one of my budgets go down. But this year probably was the most defeated budgets, coincided with all the write-ins coming.
You're welcome. Anyone else now on my left? All right, seeing no hands, I will close the comments by also saying thank you, gentlemen. I know it's a very small portion of the tax dollar that goes to the fire districts, correct?
Yeah.
What is the portion?
It's like this. It's one.
Yeah.
We can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Each fire district is a separate rate for each fire districts. I believe the Cheesequake, this fire district is the lowest tax rate in all fire districts.
That's what I thought. That's why I brought that up, because I really do feel that you've been very good stewards of the money. There really is, it's not that kind of a huge amount of money, and I think for the way you keep our town safe and you cover all areas, I mean, this is, to me, it's amazing what you do with the money you have. So I want to thank you again, and I will also be supporting your budget. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Second.
Okay.
Just to confirm, you are passing a resolution supporting budget as it was adopted by
Yes.
the board? Okay.
Yes, everyone is all right on that. Okay, okay.
Okay. Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
And Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Pescitti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Abstain?
President Soha?
Yes.
7 yes.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good evening. And thank you again. Next is ordinances for second reading. 2019-05, an ordinance of the Township of Old Bridge amending Chapter 250 of the Code of the Township of Old Bridge entitled Old Bridge Township Land Development Ordinance by amending various sections of the same.
I'll move it.
First, I'd like to open it up to the public. Is there anyone in the public who would like to be heard? Seeing no hands, I will close the public portion.
Before you close it, I have to speak.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sure, go right ahead, Ken.
So, just so that if there is anyone in the public that may want to speak on this, although no one raised their hand, there have been changes. They are not substantive changes from the last time the ordinance was posted for first reading. They were misspellings, and a majority of it was for the numbering of the LDO because of some changes. When I say original modifications, since that draft was adopted, again, the changes were non-substantive. They were for numbering purposes, and there were some misspellings And I believe that the staff is here if anyone has any specific questions as to those modifications.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone in the public? Seeing no hands, I will close the public portion, and now I will go to council. Anyone for comments? On my left? On my right?
No, I feel the presentation was well done last time, and I think it's important to make these changes. I think this will help the town in many ways. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, do I have a motion?
Mrs. Beeline? And I need a
Yep, she
second.
made
I
second.
need a second. Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
And Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Abstain.
Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Abstain.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Soha?
Yes.
6 yes, 2 abstentions.
Preliminary public comments to council, subject to the following conditions and restrictions. During the preliminary public portion of the meeting, any person may address the Township Council on any subject matters for a maximum period of 5 minutes. Any such person desiring to speak during the preliminary public portion shall first sign a list maintained by the Township Clerk for such purpose. Comments during the preliminary public comment portion of the meeting shall not encompass second reading ordinances or any other matter for which comment or a public hearing is to occur at the meeting.
Vasilios and Marentinos?
Good evening.
I don't think, it's not on. No, Nicole, press it for him.
I hate the computers.
Okay.
Gentlemen, the reason I come here, there is already from my apartment still the same thing. Even what they did 3 days ago, they was to my apartment. They get from the basement, if you believe it or not, 4 bags that high, white, garbage from my basement. Somebody calls them, that's why they did that. Somebody from Old Bridge here, because I believe I say straight to everybody, there is connection with the New Amsterdam Village. I didn't say anything. By 8 o'clock when I get up, I open my doors 3 times at night time. 3 times to open the door to get that mold out of my apartment. And I have my alarm for half an hour. I keep it open and go sleep again. Already they passed 3 months. See my eyes. What is going to be with me? Mrs. Jeannie, she came to the apartment. She was down in the basement. She turns up and says there is not any smell. And what she said when she was walking in my apartment, she says, smell food. The health department, he came there, the first time when he came there, he reported here to you, Mrs. Brown, he smelled coffee. As I said to you before, welcome to the Dachau, please. That area is not only my apartment. It is all over that area where it is garbage before many years ago. Mr. Butler and his wife, I can say positively, he died from the mold or the garbage on the area which it was dumpster before. I raised my voice, you see I'm raised. Italians and Greeks. That's the way we're talking about. And I asked that gentleman on the corner, sir, last appointment, there was 3 girls here and 1 man on the other side. You make some kind of questions. Some people say you didn't like, you raise your voice. You have all the time, unlimited time. Why you don't cool yourself down? When I raise my voice, it's not because there is something wrong with me. I raise because I get fed up. I raise my voice because I lost my sister positively for this mold which is in the apartment and the garbage which is the ground. If I say something now, you're going to say you are crazy. Please, the government can be change that area, put trees and build those buildings, apartments somewhere else. Not on this area because they have to pass at least 3,000 years to get really, as Iraq, that garbage. 3,000 years. Last few days, I give to my upstairs the guy which he had to come, but he has to go somewhere else, and he cannot come down here. If you remember the young fellow which with me, I give him the questions, the creation. I'm telling you the truth. I'm waiting somebody else, and to the end, I'm going to start destroying whatever I know. Maybe you don't believe me, but anybody welcome, as I repeat it again, is never 0 times 0 is never ended with 0, or 0 plus 0 is not 0. I can prove it to the world. I'm worried about not now as they bring me up to the neck, and I ask the police here, who was that police that arrest me and why? And I said something else. Now, it's fair for you, unlimited time, but for this people, it's not enough.
Thank you.
It's not enough for us.
Okay, thank you very much.
I bring you
Yes.
some pictures, see whatever.
Time is up, sir. You have to, you please have to.
Sir, you can't sit here and...
I feel it's
Sir.
not fair.
Sir.
You have to
You
stop
have to
now.
follow the
Thank
rules,
you. We-
please.
We
When
really.
you elected my friend, it's
Sir,
me.
you
When
have
you
to-
elected, it's
sir,
me.
you
Alright, sir.
have to follow the rules.
All right, all right.
Have-
1 minute,
thank
John. Let's just,
Excuse me.
Miss,
I want to ask one question. Were you talking about me?
When you was the 2 years, I think somebody else was on the corner. I don't remember the
I was
face.
agreeing with you, and I think I know what the problem is, I think it is.
Yeah,
And I
you
was
raised
telling
your,
about that.
you,
It was not hard.
you raised your voice, and it was bothering me.
That's the way I talk.
No, because you mentioned something, you know me before 2 weeks, you was talking about me.
Okay.
And my
Thank you.
time, it is that narrow is. For everybody, it's unlimited. For the people here, which we vote for you, it's a narrow, 3 minutes, 5 minutes.
Okay.
It's not fair that.
all right. Okay, thank you.
Please
Okay.
make it for special-
Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, that's it on the listing.
No one else?
Council comments.
All right, council comments on my left. Anyone for a council comment? Mr. Murphy?
I'm kind of concerned about the Cheesequake Fire Company coming in here tonight. I mean, is this a thing of the future that this is going to be happening? We already have, I know I'm not allowed to talk about public session, but we have a thing with the EMS, we have one with them. What if other volunteers start falling to the same thing? Is that going to be like a major problem? What's going to stop them? Because they maybe have other raises coming everywhere else, they're going to have to come here. Like, you know, what I'm saying is, when's it going to stop? Is this just the beginning? Next week it might be, I don't know, Lawrence Harbor, then South Old Is anybody watch? Is the township allowed to watch them? Can we have a liaison to know we're going to see about it, not read about it in the paper first?
All right, Councilman Murphy.
Mr.
Mr.
Murphy.
Lozier has something to add, so maybe for you.
It's statutory that if their budget gets shot down by the voters, it has to come before this council. That's their only avenue. After it was voted down, it then comes here. If it was approved, they wouldn't be here in front of you folks.
I understand that, but what if they have to come back again this year or something?
They are an independent board with their own taxing authority. Under the statute, the only reason they come here, just like Board of Education would, if the budget was voted down, and that's what happened with them. The 3 other fire districts are not here. Their budget is adopted. Generally, Township and all the fire districts and all the fire companies works well together. For example, our radio system program that we worked well, together to provide communication. There's a constant communication between them and us. So, coming to us for something, they have their own authority. They cannot come here. We cannot just arbitrarily transfer the funds. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, anyone else on my left for comments? Mr. Rizzoli.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to address something. Recently the Mayor's Office of Economic Development threw together a wish list of economic development ideas for projects that could be built on what is the Township's owned Crossroads redevelopment area. Council members received this list and were asked to pick an option. The public may not be aware of the areas in question. That includes 13 parcels containing approximately 542.8 acres based on the Township tax records. The redevelopment area includes frontage along 4 roads: East Greystone Road, Marlborough Road, Texas Road, and Highway 18. Mayor's Master Plan Examination Report from September of 2017 states that traditionally there has been difficulty developing this area, and over time it has been problematic in determining the most appropriate mix of land uses. My question is, what has the redevelopment agency been doing all these years? Making such an important decision by picking an item from a list is not fair to council and to the residents who have to live with the consequences of a decision that was not properly considered. It is necessary to determine the highest and best use of the redevelopment area that will help stabilize our tax base. This can only be accomplished through the RFQ process that will identify the proper professionals to do a comprehensive economic impact study that will benefit the current taxpayers of Old Bridge. After 2 terms in office, one would expect the mayor and his economic development personnel would have a better handle on how to develop these properties in the best interest of Old Bridge. Asking the council members to choose a redevelopment project without a proper study is misguided. Excuse me, Councilwoman Walker. I don't interrupt you. We need the help of independent professionals who can guide the council with the development of these highest and best uses for the sites while being a benefit to our current taxpayers. I'm calling for a resolution this evening asking for impact studies that will benefit the taxpayers. Let's avoid what is going on Bordentown Avenue, for anyone who has passed it, with the massive piles of shipping containers that we can see was brought here by the mayor and the planning board, and that we now have Port Newark and Elizabeth and Old Bridge. Let's avoid that, and let's do the right thing, get an impact study so we can all make the proper decision on what should go there. Thank you.
Anyone else on my left? Or how about on my right? Dr. Greenberg?
Yes, I would like to just give you a snapshot in time, what happened with the Cheesequake Fire Department budget. This is going to happen more often because now, if you know, that the absentee ballots are different. They're sent to everybody. Before, absentee ballots were sent for people who were ill, incapacitated, out of the country, out of the state, weren't be able to get to the polls for work schedule or something. Now they're sent to everybody. And with doing that, people just randomly will vote down a budget because they think their taxes are going high. This is a volunteer organization that responds 24/7, has 6 paid men. And I should have asked them so everyone could have heard tonight how many responses that they do. Over 500 for that. For the amount of their budget was $1.9 million. And this is what happened when the school board changed their policy, where now we don't vote on the school board, and that's $160 million. The board does that. There's 9 members on the school board. They changed the election from April. The public used to vote on it, and now we don't. So when you think of a volunteer organization asking to protect their residents, and then you have the school board that doesn't. But also what you have to realize, when you use absentee ballots in a way where it's really misguided and misused, elections are now never going to be the same ever again. And that goes along not only with budgets, with candidates and everything else. So changes are coming, but that is what the Middlesex County Board of Elections decided to do. Before, if you applied for the absentee, you would have to apply for it every time. Now, if you applied for it ever, one time, if you were not going to be around on election day, or if you were ill or in the hospital or something like that, you applied for it. Now, anyone who ever applied for it, you just randomly you can vote absentee. So this is going to be a problem. I feel bad that they had to come here, but maybe it was good to educate people what is going on with the budgets. But it has nothing to do with the EMS. The township had no bearing on that other than the people that voted in that election. And it's a very small percentage that came out for the fire district's elections. Excuse me, but I'm glad they came here, so they explained it, and I hope everyone understands it. But it's really unfair that the volunteers, their budget went down, and, you know, if we're going to vote on every budget, then I think the Board of Education should be included in that also, and we should go back to the April elections there so people have a say. Because if you look at your tax bill, that's 50%, 57% of your budget. We may collect it, and we get the complaints when your tax bill goes up. We collect the money, but it is not our money. It is the Board of Ed, and that they have to get their money. So I really wanted to explain that so everyone understands it. And it has nothing to do with the EMS situation that we're in. This budget will have no impact on any other volunteer organization unless the budget goes down because of absentee ballots or any other reason. But I think when they have their CPA here tonight explaining it, I hope that it was very clear why it's so important to support that budget. Thank you very much.
Anyone else on my right? Mr. Pescetti?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Greenberg. It's true that the school budget is the biggest part of the tax that you pay, or we all pay. And I just want the people at home to recognize that the budget that this council is responsible for and the administration is responsible for has no increase this year. Thank you.
Anyone else? Mrs. Walker?
Yes, I agree that I think we should go back to where we have to vote for the school budget. It's so large, $160 million. We have no say in it. And unfortunately, the town collects all the money from all the entities, and then the people blame us for increasing taxes, but we have kept a very, very stable tax base here municipally. But when people look at their tax bill, they blame us because we're sending the bill out. But we just need to hammer that home, that it's the Board of Ed, 57 cents on every dollar. And I really feel that we should be able to vote on such a large amount of money. I think the people need to start complaining and have that brought back to come to the voter. I think it makes them more accountable for the money. It's easy when you know nobody's going to vote on it. And look at the poor fire company. If we had a paid fire company, it'd probably be about each district, maybe $10 million. It'd be a lot of money with a pension and all that. So we should be thankful that we have such a good fire district.
Anyone else? Mr. Cahill?
Yeah, I wasn't going to comment, but I have to address some of the comments about the redevelopment agency. You know, I've been a council person on my 12th year now, and I never had a great feeling about the redevelopment agency because I always felt like it kind of came at us after the fact. Now what's happening is the redevelopment agency is actually reaching out to the council members and saying, hey, we have a proposal, you know, we have a plot of land, are there things that you guys have an appetite for? There's no RFQs going out, no RFPs, it's exploratory. Right? Anything that happens in the redevelopment agency has to come before the council. It's completely transparent. So there was some mischaracterizations there, and I really want to put those to rest, that there's nothing going on. People in those streets that are identified should not be alarmed. There's no building going on. There's no RFQs going on. It's just a matter of the redevelopment agency actually reaching out to the council people, which I appreciate, because again, I felt like I was kind of in a vacuum prior, and asking what the appetite is. And I think that the transparency is great. And again, for the members of the public need to understand that anything that happens comes before the council. So it's completely transparent. So, thank you.
Anyone else on my left? Mr. Murphy?
I agree with what Anita said, but that's exactly what I was trying to say. I was trying to say, this can start happening to all the fire companies when I said, is this the beginning of what's to happen? Because there's so many, it doesn't take a lot of votes to win a fire commissioner, and it's not going to take a lot of votes to knock it down, the budget. And you have a lot of people out there that just won't vote because they're voting for what they think is a rate increase, and you can't stop that. That's what my concern is as a councilman and as a resident. Thank you.
I will, Mr. Rizzoli, and then that's it. Everybody's had a bite at the apple now, going on twice.
Yeah, no, it was never my intention to alarm anyone. The reality of it is, asking for evaluation on the property, what proposal would be the best benefit for the township, I think that's a legitimate question. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, I respect it, but that's how I feel in this matter. Also, a few meetings ago, I asked about the, what would be the backup plan if the EMS shut down. The mayor stated that there is a backup plan with a better response time. I never received any follow-up. What company will be handling the backup?
We have Plan A, we have Plan B.
Okay, who is it? Who's Plan A, who's Plan B?
We have a current agreement with an existing, which covers, the window that we need to cover is very small, and if that company can't cover it, we'll find another company who can cover it.
Okay, who's the company that's going to be covering it?
We don't know that yet.
You just said you have an existing agreement. I just want to know who the company is.
Mr. Rizzoli, your comments are counterproductive. Okay, I don't know what you're trying to prove.
I'm not trying to
I'm
prove
telling you, the
anything.
public safety in Old Bridge
How is it
is not at risk
counterproductive to know
here.
who's doing it?
Why do you need to know which company it's
If I'm
going
a
to be?
councilman, I like to know what
Okay, well, then you call me in my
company is.
office.
I
And as far as your
expected that follow-up
comments
when
with the
I asked.
redevelopment agency, you're a day late and $1 short, because every one of your comments have been addressed in years prior. So I don't know who wrote that for you, but it's obviously the way you read it, you didn't write it.
Well, if you want to think that, then you think that.
I know that.
I read my own material, unlike yourself.
Okay, let's close.
By the way, this is a
All right.
council meeting. You have a lot to say.
All right,
Proves you
enough.
lack knowledge in that area.
Okay, let's stop now. I'm going to close the council comments by saying that I agree with Mr. Cahill about the redevelopment agency. I think it's be very, very transparent. And also, you have to remember, this last election cycle, we wound up with 5 all-new council people. So I think it was in good interest to ask the governing body, since we're the ones that these, plans have to come before, what their thoughts were and, what they would like to see. I think we've done a lot of vetting out, and I think it's wrong to throw out information there that's going to, once again, the public is going to get all upset and everybody in those streets, and it's wrong. I just don't feel that that's the way to deal with something like this. I think we have to work on it together. I think we have to have an open process, and I think it's good that we're asked what we like, what we'd like to see as well. So I really think that we have to make sure that when we talk about certain subjects, that we really do keep it exactly the way it is. Thank you.
Council President?
Yes.
I have a comment. We're still in the council comments, right? Okay. So I think I said this probably a few months ago when I first got on the council. I do actually agree with Councilman Rizzoli, and I didn't know any of what was going to be brought up tonight regarding, his concerns per se. But I would agree that there are people that ask me, there are people that ask around as far as what our exact solution is concerning the EMS. And I don't think that it's a baiting question, but I more so believe that I know that we have to keep a level of there has to be a little bit of a veil between what we do here, obviously business-wise, some things in the budget, so forth. But I think there's a lack of transparency in certain regards, especially with that. And I get it, you know, people are concerned about precisely who would take care of those issues. And I mean, I would agree. To some extent, I know a bit about it, you know, because I've asked, but I would agree that maybe some people haven't had that question answered satisfactorily. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Okay. That's it for council comments. Report of the township clerk.
None at this time, thank you.
Report of the township attorney.
None at this time.
Thank you. Administrative report, Mr. Shaw.
Thank you, Council President. Administrative report for March 11th. Item number 1, Middlesex County proposed resurfacing program. On March 5th, 2019, the township received notification from the Middlesex County Department of Infrastructure Management that the following roadways.
So, point of order, did we get a copy of the administrative report?
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, we didn't get a copy.
You didn't get a copy of those?
No.
Oh, my apologies. I'm going to pass it on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Get on the stick.
Mr. Amachu, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I like to follow along because I'm just so captivated by your words,
Absolutely.
so, all right. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. Is there any way, I don't know if it's too much trouble, just staple it on the back of the agenda so the people can read it as you're saying it? Is that a problem? I mean, if it is, don't worry about it.
Well, we do not include all the reports along with the agenda, but we certainly publish this. They're available on the website after I report it to the council. So we like.
Okay, I understand. So you don't want to put it on there, you don't want to see it before we get it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I apologize. Number 1, Middlesex County proposed resurfacing program on March 5th, 2019. The township received notification from the Middlesex County Department of Infrastructure Management that the following roadways are projected to be milling and paved this year. Old Bridge Matawan Road, County Route 516, from Route 9 overpass to Cottrell Road. Onston Road from Rutgers Road to the pavement break by Route 9. Old Bridge Englishtown Road from Machaponix Road to Texas Road. Old Bridge Englishtown Road from 6th Street to Greystone Road, and Texas Road from Route 9 to Sardine Road, county line. Hard copies of the March 5th, 2019 letter from Middlesex County Director of Public Works has been forwarded to the Township Clerk's office for distribution to council. Item number 2, Middlesex County residential paper shred. On Saturday, March 23, 2019, the Township of Old Bridge will be hosting a paper shred event from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the municipal complex. This mobile paper shredding service is open to all Middlesex County residents. Please note that this is for confidential documents only. All other paper and junk mail can be placed in your recycling containers for regular pickup. For additional information, residents should contact the recycling department at recycling@oldbridge.com. Item number 3, 2019 municipal and capital budgets. With the council budget subcommittee meetings concluded, the formal presentation and a public hearing on the 2019 municipal and capital budgets are scheduled for March 25th, 2019 council meeting. Item number 4, Township of Old Bridge 150th anniversary. We'll be kicking off our year-long celebration on March 30th with the Mayor's 5K run, which already has over 300 participants. As you saw by the presentation earlier, the committee is hard at work making their plans for this year's celebration, so please stay tuned for more information. We hope that you all will help us celebrate the Old Bridge. For all information on 150th anniversary, please check the dedicated website, oldbridge.com/OB150. Item number 5, Mayor's first annual 5K race honoring our hometown heroes. On behalf of the Mayor and the Health and Wellness Council, we would like to invite you to come join us on March 30th, 2019 at Mayor's inaugural Health and Wellness 5K honoring our hometown heroes. The Mayor Health and Wellness Fair will begin immediately following the race with the various businesses and organizations offering giveaways, activities, information, and more. In addition, we are pleased to have the James A. McDavid Elementary School host their 2019 Junior Unity Tour at the fair. The purpose of the Junior Unity Tour team is to raise awareness of the law enforcement officers who have died in the line of duty. They are inviting all elementary students, grade K2 at 9:30 a.m. and grade 3 to 5 at 11 a.m. to join them and ride their bicycle to raise money for the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial and Museum. To register the 5K run /walk, go to oldbridge.com/events. As Mayor reported, we have about 400 people registered already for the race. Item number 6, public service and gas infrastructure upgrade Southwood community. PSENG contractor will begin gas infrastructure upgrade within the Southwood community beginning on or about April 15, 2019. Construction work will include the replacement of old aging gas mains and service lines, include restoration of payments and lawn area. Residents will receive further notification via door hangers once the work is set to begin. Portion of the following street will be affected by this project: Southwood Drive, Andover Road, Huxley Drive, Beverly Road, Concord Drive, Longview Road, Dogwood Lane, Dorset Road, Ernest Streets, Avon Court, and Sherwood Lane. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TV, or visit us on our website for additional up-to-date information. Item number 7, Mayor Henry's Clean Team. Mayor Henry's Clean Team program will begin this April and run through November. If any local nonprofit organization are interested in participating in a little cleanup, please contact our Clean Community Coordinator for an application by emailing at recycling@oldbridge.com. 8, recycling. Item number 8, recycling containers. Recycling bins are available at Recycling Center on Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. in addition to being available in the office on weekdays. Bins are $10 each, cash or checks only. New residents must show closing papers or deed reflecting the house was purchased within 1 year to obtain 2 free bins from the county. Please see the recycling attendants at the booth for detail or call extension 6107. Jersey Central Power and Light. Residents are advised that JCP&L has recently retained Davy Tree Expert Company for planned vegetation maintenance activity, that's tree trimming services, around the facility for the month of March and April. Council President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Anyone, any questions or comments?
Council President, if I may, I'd just like to add one more item. Just wish everyone from the proud Irish heritage a happy St. Patrick's Day this weekend.
Okay.
Everyone.
Thank you very much. Anyone else, council? Okay, I'll take a motion.
Move it.
Okay, moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mr. Murphy.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
And Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Soho?
Yes.
8 yes.
Next will be our consent agenda. I will ask for a motion and a second. I will bring it out to the public and then bring it back to council for separations.
Move it.
Second.
And Mrs. Walker. Is there anyone out in the public who would like to be heard on any of our consent agenda items this evening? Seeing no hands, I will close the public portion and now ask council members for their separations. Anyone on my left? Yes.
C5.
Which one?
C5 for Mrs. Brown.
C5.
Anyone else on my left?
Just if we could separate C1, maybe just if the finance director, I'm sorry, the business administrator could give us an explanation of what that is. Thank you.
C1 you said, right? All right. Anyone else on my left? Okay. On my right? Seeing no hands, I would ask that we would make a motion, we would pass the balance.
Move it.
Second.
Okay, Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Pescetti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Soho.
Yes.
8 yes.
C1, Mr. Cahill?
Yeah, I just wanted the business administrator just to give us a quick overview for the public, just in case people don't know what this is about.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, the resolution is take effect, so is to combine previously authorized capital project as annually council authorized capital project. Those plans are implemented, and we do temporary financing for all those projects. And when sufficient projects are combined, we combine into this aggregate amount, which is to allow us to sell the permanent financing, the bond sale. So this resolution will combine all of those previously authorized bond ordinance. The work is now completed, and the amount is finalized, is now being permanently financed. It's 12 years of we're looking at 12 years of amortization. As I indicated to council, tomorrow, Finance Committee will join us at administration in speaking to Moody's, who will assign the ratings to this specific bond issue. And then we'll go in the market later in the month. We'll be going in the market and getting a permanent financing. The financing will replace the existing temporary financing. So this is not a new authorization. We are going to present the new authorization on March 25th.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else have any questions? If not, I'll take,
Oops, sorry.
We already, oh, okay, go ahead.
Somebody have comments?
We
I was
need
going to move
a
it.
motion.
Okay. Second.
so we have a motion.
A second.
Who moved it?
Mr. Cahill?
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
And Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Pescetti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Soho.
Yes.
8 yes.
C5, Mrs. Brown?
Okay, I just had a question regarding this COA housing liaison. Do we know, since this person's going to be appointed, I'm guessing we know who this is already?
She works in the planning department, Dawn Robley. She works in the planning department. She's a planning secretary. She's always been appointed as a liaison.
Oh, okay. She's going to just continue then? Okay. And her last name is spelled one more time?
Don't hold me, Borbely.
Borbely, B-O-R.
Oh, B.
B-O-R-B-E-L-Y.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll move it.
Okay, anyone else had any questions? No? Okay, so moved by Mr. Murphy, second by Mr. Rizzoli.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
And Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Pescetti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Soho.
Yes.
8 yes.
Okay, we have no ordinances for first reading this evening. Next will be public comments on any subject matter. Anyone from the public wish to be heard? Seeing no hands, I will now close the public portion. Next will be discussion,
He's not here.
and
He's not here.
Yeah, he requested
Right.
that if he's not
just
going to
wanted
make
to
it, that he
let the
would-
public know that since he's not here, we're not going to be doing the D1 discussion this evening, okay? Okay, now also there will be no executive session as well. So, council comments, anyone on my left?
No, it's John's executive.
John
No,
is the
he
executive
said,
session.
no, right, John?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's,
No?
no. Okay, so the executive session was canceled. And now we have council member comments. Anyone on my left? Anyone on my right?
yes.
Mr. Pescetti? Oh, you, Ms. Brown? Okay. Mr. Pescetti?
Yeah, thank you. On the original agenda, JCP&L was going to be here. What happened?
No,
That's scheduled for April
April.
8th meeting. He's
Right.
on vacation this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
April 8th? Okay, thank you.
Okay, anyone else on my right? Okay. Mrs. Brown?
So, yes, I actually have a third question now. Do we know why we're not having the executive session? I'm just curious to know.
I'll talk to you after this.
Oh, you will talk to me. Okay, then that answers question number one. Number two, I just wanted to ask, I know I sent you an email earlier, Himanshu, about a budget for Public Works with a couple of little projects I wanted to do, so we can talk offline about it, but...
Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
you can, all right. And then third, here we are. So we got an email, the mayor, myself, and possibly, I think Public Works might have gotten it too, but I just wanted to follow up. It was a question about the redevelopment of the athletic fields in Madison Park. So apparently that might be happening. I just wanted to kind of put it out in the open as to whether or not it was hearsay or something that's actually going to happen.
Well, the Madison Park field, just a basic question is that is the properties owned by Menzo? They are apparently going through the process of, they have turned over the property to an organizations, they're basically two athletic organization in Madison Park area. Matt, do you know the name of the organization?
Old Girls Softball League.
Huh?
Old Girls Softball
Old-
League. It was formerly Madison Park Softball League. They changed their name recently this year to let people know that it's for everybody of Old Bridge, not just those who live in Madison Park. They're currently, and have been for many years, have been utilizing the school, Madison Park School.
And so those fields are being turned over to them by Menzo. They're donated to them, and they're going to taking ownership and maintenance of those fields. Those are not township-owned properties.
Yeah, I think the question was just, were we going to allow them to demolish, there's a mini park? So that was the question I got. So I just want to clarify it in public here, so.
Well, there's
And
going to be.
if we don't know, they know.
That's going to be a decision made
to
by
them.
the athletic organization.
Okay.
Of course, they are in communication with us. Matt is in communication with them, and that we'll look at the issue of the. We heard a little bit about that today, but Matt is going to address, and he's going to be getting in touch with the homeowners association member.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Mhm.
Okay, anyone else? On my right, anyone for comments? Again, Mr. Pischetti?
Yeah, just real quickly, that Madison Park girls softball, both my daughters went through that program. It was a really good program. They really had a good time. They learned all the basics of softball. And I encourage folks to get their daughters signed up. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Mr. Murphy?
I just want to wish everybody a happy St. Patrick's Day also. Thank you.
Anyone else? Dr. Greenberg?
It was the same thing. Everyone have fun on St. Patrick's Day, be safe, enjoy it, and with the daylight savings time, it felt good today to have the extra sun. Yesterday was a little rough, but getting used to it.
Anyone else? Okay. I'll close the comments by also saying Happy St. Patrick's Day. My Irish heritage is very proud as well, so everybody have a great holiday. Thank you. Motion to adjourn. Mr. Rizzo.
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Pischetti? Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker? President Sohar? President Sohar?
Yes.
Thank you.